On.
Hi guys, it's me Brooke, and today I'm going to be talking about a Mount Everest death. And after this, I might make a video on Jon Krakauer. I've been learning about him in school. He was a man who climbed to the top of Mount Everest and wrote a story about it, and a movie, which is Into Thin Air, which you should really watch. But I'll explain all that to you later. But this article is about, as you can see, Maria Syndrome and her husband. And I'm just going to be telling you about it. And you see the website if you want to go there and check it out yourself. So, at first, I'll just be explaining it to you. I'm not going to read the whole article, but well, it says that the girl Maria, she was 15 minutes from the top, which is the summit, as the title says, and she was exhausted from climbing Mount Everest. But it was actually, and then her husband asks if he could go to the summit and leave her there at the camp. So yes, they were at a camp on the Mount Everest. And she actually had a altitude sickness, and that would cause her life. But they didn't know that. They just thought it was exhaustion. And she was only 34 years old. And they really regretted their decisions of them not going down and him going to the top. So her blood was thickening, which is bad because your blood's supposed to only be the way it is. So her blood was thickening because it was freezing, and she was dehydrated, and she didn't have enough oxygen, as it says supplemental oxygen. I don't know why I'm pointing to the screen. You can't even see me pointing. And I don't know if she ends up dying. I haven't read this yet. So he asked, to quote, he asked, "Do you mind if I go on?" And Maria said, "Yes, you go on. I'll wait for you here." And from where they were, the summit didn't look 15 minutes away. It only looked a little far. Sorry, T-Mobile. No. Okay, sorry, guys. And in the interview, he says, "I didn't want to separate from her. I wanted her to keep going." So basically, they were newlyweds, and that was like their challenge to climb to the top. And he didn't want to leave her alone to die, just in case she would die. So he said of the decision to leave her and press on to the top. Okay, so it didn't mean anything to him to get to the summit without her, because he wanted to do everything with her. He didn't want to go to the top and then have her live with the regret of not going to the top. So basically he's saying when he made it to the summit, he did go, but he didn't care that he made it without her. Okay, so hold on. Okay. So she started hallucinating, which can happen because of dehydration and stuff and lack of oxygen. So she probably saw like grass or like something warm around her, but it really wasn't there, if you didn't know what hallucinating means. And she could barely walk, and she was talking like weird, and she could have a stroke. And yeah. Oh, so the husband shared it with Maria because she was running out of oxygen. So he shared his oxygen until he ran out. And then he started suffering the consequences and effects of altitude sickness himself. And he said he said that he thought he had medication, and he gave her the medication and not himself. That's what I'm getting here. I hate this because it's so sad. So when she was going unconscious, she had been without like normal oxygen for 20 hours. And what I mean by they ran out of oxygen is they have oxygen tanks, and they need those to pretty much breathe. There is a small amount, like 30% of the oxygen that you actually need on the mountain, but some people have survived from that. Like Jon Krakauer, his team. Jon Krakauer, actually, he survived with 30% of oxygen with this thing, with the next oxygen tank 15 minutes away, and he was letting everybody ahead of him to get to camp when he could barely breathe. That's why we call him a hero, because if he was like pushing by everybody and saying, come on, I have to go, I need oxygen, then we wouldn't really celebrate him. It's cool that he got to the top and everything, but that's not really something to celebrate about. Sorry, I got off track for a second. So the husband said, his name is Gropal, by the way. Gropal said she was going through periods of being lucid, which means like normal, and periods of like hallucinating, so like seeing stuff and like thinking of stuff from back when she was a child and stuff. So there was a point, so this is what Gropal's interviewer, Steve Pennels, said, there was a point where they thought she would get better. Her condition had improved, and she was taking medication and fluids and had made camp. So she made it to the next camp, and overnight, and it says, and then overnight she got worse. So, and then it says after that, Syndrome died in Gropal's arm on the 20th of May. So, I don't know if they probably didn't make it to the top because they only got it to the next camp, which is probably Hillary's, I forget it. Okay, wait, I have 26 seconds to record. I'm sorry. Okay, love you guys. Bye. I'll explain it on the next video. I'm sorry. Okay, bye. Subscribe down below. Leave a like. And have an amazing day. And next video, I'll explain the other John Krakauer. 2 seconds, 1. Bye.